When it comes to Maneki, there's three different hypothetical price scenarios that I'm currently thinking about, and this is maybe even if, let's say, there is a fully fledged type of altcoin season during this cycle. But even though nothing I say is financial advice, the first hypothetical price scenario that I do want to explore is maybe the idea of 2 cents. That's around a 16.5x from here, and the market cap at that point would be around 177 million if we were to consider the current circulating supply. Now, why wouldn't this necessarily surprise me when it comes to Maneki? It's because I'm still a fan of the project, and I actually like its fundamentals, and let me explain why. When it comes to Maneki, it is a Solana-based meme coin. Now, some people may be thinking, okay, but there's a lot of Solana-based meme coins out there. Totally aware of that, but then when I take a look at Maneki, what I find pretty unique about it is that the vibe feels a little bit different than some other meme coins out there that I see. Like, for instance, if we take a look at the name Maneki, right? It's otherwise known as a Japanese beckoning cat. And sometimes I see like a figurine, sometimes in restaurants, and sometimes it's like motorized where the paw goes back and forth. And again, supposedly, it is this sort of symbol of good luck, allegedly. So I kind of like the vibe overall when it comes to Maneki. Now, sometimes people like to say, okay, still, why would you care about that? Take a look at the market cap, it's around 10 million. I'm totally aware of that, but I think for what it is, again, it's a meme coin, I think it kind of ticks the boxes for what I'm looking for because I like the fundamentals. Again, I think a meme coin should be unique. I think it should be interesting, and I think it ticks that box. Also, I think the community is very passionate, so I do like that as well. Again, it's not necessarily the biggest out there when it comes to Maneki in terms of popularity, and it's by no means the most popular Solana-based meme coin out there. However, I still haven't given up because if, let's say, there was a fully fledged type of altcoin season, if Solana maybe had more attention than back then, it wouldn't surprise me because even when Solana had that pretty amazing attention and we saw a lot of these, Solana-based meme coins kind of go along with the ride, I actually don't think that was hypothetically a fully fledged type of altcoin season. Like, personally, I don't think I've seen one during this cycle, right? I don't think I've seen one. So if, let's say, there was one, and let's say Solana had more popularity, and, some of these, let's say, projects on Solana did go along with the ride, it wouldn't necessarily surprise me. And also, again, the market cap, people like to say, oh, it's around 10 million. But if, let's say, I was looking to dollar cost average, I don't know why I would actually complain about that. This is just my perspective. I'm not telling them to do anything. But if, let's say, I wanted to buy a t-shirt and there was a discount, would I suddenly be like, you know what? Oh, I don't want it anymore. Well, maybe, right? It depends on a case-by-case basis. But if I actually like the shirt, why would I do that? I just wouldn't do that, actually, but this is just my perspective. So I'm still staying patient because ultimately that's the only thing I can do, and I get it. Maneki, it's been going down for quite a while. But I still haven't given up, and I'm still staying patient. I'm not telling them to do anything. But if I take a look at kind of the progression of Solana, when I take a look at, kind of the interesting and unique aspect when it comes to Maneki, hypothetically, the idea of 2 cents, it wouldn't necessarily surprise me if, let's say, there was a fully fledged type altcoin season during this cycle, but again, only time will tell. Now, the second hypothetical price scenario that I do want to explore is maybe the idea of 2.5 cents. Now, that's nearly a 21x from here. Like, I've seen Shiba Inu reach a market cap of around 40 billion back in 2021, and Dogecoin that year reached over 80 billion. I am not saying that Maneki is gonna become as popular as them, if ever, right? However, this is such a small fraction of what they achieved many years ago, right? Back in 2021. So this doesn't seem like such a ridiculous market cap to me. And also, like, reaching around a $220 million market cap is around a 20x from here, right? Or should I say nearly a 21x? Like, I don't know. Even if despite Dogecoin as of right now not necessarily doing the best, and also Shiba, I don't know if they could do that in the next hypothetical 6 months, maybe, right? More specifically when it comes to Dogecoin, if someone said to me, oh, hypothetically, maybe a 21x, I wouldn't even think about that when it comes to Dogecoin during this cycle. This is just my perspective, though. However, again, I'm just still staying patient, and that market cap, again, wouldn't necessarily surprise me when it comes to Maneki at maybe the idea of 2.5 cents. And again, a market cap of around 220 million considering current circulating supply. However, even besides that, the third and final hypothetical price scenario that I do want to explore is maybe the idea of 3 cents. That's actually a 25x from here, and market cap at that point would be around 265 million considering current circulating supply. Now, to me, there are factors that I like during this cycle a lot more than back in 2021, and let me explain why. I think Solana just has a lot more popularity, right? I think a lot of my friends even just know more about Solana in general, and also a lot of people that I meet, they just know Solana. And also, there are supposedly over 600 million crypto owners currently, which is allegedly more than ever before in history. And what I find very impressive about this is because back in the peak of the 2021 bull run, there was around 300 million crypto owners. So we pretty much have double. And what I find even more fascinating about this is that we haven't seen, right, Bitcoin even reach 150 grand, let alone 200, 250, or even 300. And I don't think we've seen a fully fledged type of altcoin season during this cycle yet. And still, there's already over 600 million crypto owners right now. I find that very impressive. Imagine if, like, Ethereum maybe went to 10K, right, or 10 grand, I should say, or let's say Bitcoin went to like 200, 250, or 300 grand. At that point, would there be the same amount of crypto owners, or maybe would there be more? If there was more, it wouldn't surprise me. This is the way to take a look at it. However, again, if let's say there was a fully fledged type of altcoin season, it wouldn't surprise me if it looked better than back in 2021. And the idea of maybe 30 cents when it comes to MANEKI wouldn't necessarily surprise me either. But even besides that, sometimes people like to say, okay, what timeline am I looking at? Now, personally for me, even though I don't think I'll be able to know the perfect moment, however, I have taken a look at the past. It doesn't mean it's going to be the same this time around, but it's just from what I've observed, right? Now, historically speaking, altcoins typically, as a worst case scenario, they usually peak around 18 months after a Bitcoin halving event. So actually 18 months from the last Bitcoin halving event would actually mean October of this year. When I take a look at that October time frame, who knows, right? If it ever even happens in the month of October, who knows? That's going to be beyond my control because that's just based off history. Like maybe it could wait longer. Like who knows? Maybe it extends until March of maybe even next year in 2026. Only time will tell. But ultimately, there's one thing I can do in my personal perspective, and that is control myself. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to be dollar cost averaging, holding, and just waiting, and that's pretty much about it. When it comes to MANEKI, I don't want to give up, but this is just also for other projects that I'm holding too. I just don't want to give up, but I'm not telling you what to do anything. This is just what I'm doing. I'm just staying patient and just waiting, and that's pretty much about it. Whatever the market does, it's going to be beyond my control. All I can do, again, is just stay patient and just wait for a moment in time, and that's pretty much about it. I'm not trying to find the perfect moment. Again, I'm just waiting for a moment, if let's say it maybe were to happen. However, ultimately, all I'm doing is just waiting and staying patient. And feel free to subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I'd greatly appreciate it. It's been Lee the Captain, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.